So welcome guys to another video, and in this video I'm going to show you how to research topics using ChatGPT and articles. So let's get started. First I will talk about how to use articles, which is the preferred option for me, which is the most effective way to research your topics because through this way you can learn much more than this way, yeah, using ChatGPT. ChatGPT is also effective. I'm not saying you shouldn't use it. I actually encourage many students of mine to use ChatGPT for both, researching topics and checking essays and improving their essays. But to me, the most effective and the preferred approach is to use articles. I'll first talk about this and then I will talk about ChatGPT, okay? So, um, Firstly, I mean, let's look at these steps, right? First thing you should do whenever you're, researching your topic using articles, you should identify the general topic of the question. So you will be given the rubric, and you will look at the rubric, look at the question, let's just say, and you should try to identify the general topic. I will just show you how to do that. And then you should search using, you should search what you need using the keywords. And I will also explain what that means. And the most important thing is probably you should never copy and paste the question to the search engine and read ready essays because that's practically useless in my opinion. And you should try to read several articles, and finally you need to take notes. So taking notes is one of the most effective ways to maximize the result. So let me show you how to do that. So let's look at this question. As transport and accommodation problems are increasing in many cities, some governments are encouraging businesses to move to rural areas. So because of these problems, now businesses are moving to rural areas. So now let's look at the steps one more time and try to do them all using following these steps. Firstly, I need to identify the general topic of the question. So general topic of the question basically means the main point of the question, let's just say, or main idea of the question. So let's try to identify the main topic and main point of the question. So I'd say that I guess it's easy to notice. You need to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of businesses moving to rural areas. And let's just say the countryside. So that's the main idea of the question, the main point of the question. I'm saying this because, it's, basically impossible to discuss the advantages of problems, right? Because it doesn't make sense. So that's not the main focus of the question. The main focus of the question is this. Governments trying to move businesses to rural areas, or shorter version would be to say businesses moving to rural areas. We need to discuss this. We need to focus on this. Businesses moving to rural areas. So the main topic or main idea, businesses moving to rural areas. So now we have identified the main topic of the question. And then let's look at the second step. Research what you need using keywords. So now the keywords would be, in this question, we need these keywords. So we need to search these. The benefits of businesses moving to rural areas, or advantages, benefits, the same thing. We also need to look for the disadvantages of businesses moving to rural areas. So these are the two things two key things that we need to search. So now let's, let me share my screen. I actually, um, so now let me just split. So here it is. Yeah. So I guess you can see what I did here. Just a second. My internet is now working well. So now let me explain. So here, if you look at my search bar right here, I searched the keywords using this, benefits of businesses moving to rural areas. So I said, what are the benefits of relocating businesses to rural areas? So I use this. Now let's see what happens, what appears on Google. So the first one is IELTS Liz. So my advice is that you ignore anything, everything related to IELTS. The websites, whatever, just ignore everything related to IELTS because that's not going to be as effective as reading articles. So we're going to ignore it. We're going to ignore IELTS Liz. So we can read this, Golden Shovel Agency. Okay, we can read that. LinkedIn, we can read that as well. So this one as well. So here you see, so this one, you should ignore this. IELTS 69. Just ignore it because it's about IELTS. You're not going to find a lot of things that are useful on these websites. So now what we have to do is that we're going to look through the articles and try to, take notes, right? So basically all the articles, like here, this and this and this, they list practically the same things, because um, the question is the same. So now look at this. So let's read and understand. When it comes to doing business, countries, countless factors come into play. I mean, that's a nice word. Let's copy the whole sentence. So here I do this. I say notes. Mm, so okay. Next one, from access to capital to workforce availability to market demand. I mean, these are nice chunks of language, However, one element that's often overlooked is the location of the business itself. One element that's often overlooked is the location of the business itself. Overlook means to ignore. Okay, I would, copy this sentence as well. So this one. While many entrepreneurs and investors flock to urban centers in search of opportunities, there are several compelling advantages to doing businesses in a rural area. I mean, that's a nice sentence. Look at the sentence structure. There are several compelling advantages to doing business in a rural area. So you see the important thing. I will talk about this in the next video as well. So when you use there are, you don't say of. Most of you say there are several compelling advantages of, but the correct version is to say to doing business or in doing business. Now let's read the main ideas. Lower cost of doing business. I mean, that's a nice idea, So this is an advantage. Advantage one. It looks compelling to me, so I would copy it. One of the most apparent advantages of operating in a rural area is the lower cost of doing business. Cost of doing business. Rural real estate prices are often significantly lower than in urban or suburban areas. Rural real estate prices. I mean, that's a nice chunk of language. I'd copy it as well. Making it easier for businesses to purchase or lease property. I mean, I'd copy this one as well. Yeah. So you see what I'm doing? I'm trying to learn as much as I can in terms of grammar, in terms of vocabulary, in terms of ideas. That's what you should do basically. So similarly, wages and salaries are often lower in rural areas due to the lower cost of living, which can help businesses keep labor costs under control. So I'm going to copy this as well. So you see, there are lots of useful, chunks of language. I mean, it's going to be easy, very easy to, write an essay using these ideas and language. And additionally, taxes and other regulatory burdens may be lower in rural areas, which can further reduce the cost of doing business. I'm going to copy this as well. So you should basically aim for this, yeah, because look at this. This is going to be a band 9 paragraph if I just copy and paste it. This is going to be a band 9 body paragraph because it uses very good pieces of chunks of language. So, nice. So I mean, the point is that you keep reading and reading and reading articles, you keep comparing, and you keep taking notes. So the point is that you should learn as much as you can about the topic itself, right? So you might ask, yeah, then the question may pop up, yeah, and rightly so. Isn't it going to take us, forever to write an essay this way? Yeah. Some might say that it's going to take them 2, 3 hours if they research topics thoroughly before they start writing an essay. And it would be a good question. Yeah. That's a natural question. But let me tell you something. So I said that input is very, very important. So instead of just testing yourself, yeah, for example, if you're writing an essay under exam conditions, you're basically testing yourself, yeah, and testing yourself is not the most effective way to improve. So basically you need to try to learn, because the same topic that you're discussing here may appear in your speaking exam, at least in your speaking exam, or in your writing exam as well. So this is here's the thing. Sometimes, I mean, I remember that when I started writing essays last year, probably, yeah, last year in the summer, um, I used to spend 2 hours on average writing essays because I used to do this. Mm After that, after writing like, I don't know, 30, 40 essays, um, the amount of time that I used to spend writing an essay started to, reduce. Because I started, spending less and less time writing essays. And the reason is that I, at that time, researched enough topics that I didn't have to research anymore mm, about most topics. I'm not saying that I now know many things about all the topics. I'm not saying that. But if you research topics about, businesses, health, education, crime, and most common topics in IELTS, and spend 2, 3 hours researching every single topic, you're basically learning about those topics. And when you have a topic, a question from one of those topics, then you will not have to research, or let's just say you will not have to spend as much time. Yeah. For example, if you spend 2 hours researching the topic of crime, yeah, whenever you're writing an essay for the topic of crime, I mean, next time when you have a similar topic, yeah, topic related to crime, let's just say, yeah, you will not have to spend 2 hours. You will probably spend, an hour or maybe less. So the idea is that you need to research topics, many topics, to the point where it will not be necessary for you to research topics after some time. So before you get to this point, before you master this, before you achieve this mastery, you need to spend a lot of time researching your topics. So let's pick one, additional advantage, and then we're going to look at the disadvantages. And in the next video, I'm going to use these ideas and write a full essay. So, what lower competition? Yeah, that looks, a very good advantage to me. So lower competition. Advantage two. That's a lower competition. That's lower competition. Now let's read it. Another advantage of doing business in a rural area is the lower competition. In many urban and suburban areas, businesses must compete with numerous other businesses offering similar products and services. I mean, offering similar products and services. There may be fewer competitors in rural areas, allowing businesses to carve out a niche and establish themselves more easily. I mean, that's a nice chunk of language, yeah? So basically, carve out a niche means to create a niche. Niche means to, for example, if I go to a place where there are no restaurants, I can start a restaurant, and restaurant business would be my niche. Um, I guess you understand that. Otherwise, you can always search the meaning. Yeah, Google the meaning. Additional rural areas may offer access to under served markets and customer segments that are overlooked by larger competitors. And so basically, the same thing. I will copy and paste it here as well. So now I have ideas. I have nice vocabulary, right? So I guess that's enough for the advantages, right? Now let's look at the disadvantages. So this is what I searched in order to find articles to discuss to find ideas for disadvantages. Yeah. So I said, what are the drawbacks of relocating businesses to rural areas? So we have IELTS Liz again. We're going to ignore it. So we have LinkedIn. LinkedIn. I don't know how to read that. I guess let's ignore that as well. So IELTS 69, IELTS practice, IELTS writing, English best for you. It's again IELTS related, you know, website. Again, band 7+, we're going to ignore it. Now this one, so it doesn't look like a IELTS related essay. So let's give it a try. Should you buy a business in a rural area? So let's so it's talking about pros. It means advantages. So again, less competition. We talked about that, right? Lower competition, less competition. So let's read it too. So stiff competition. Yeah, that's a nice chunk of language. Yeah. Stiff competition. Yeah. Stiff competition refers to competition which is mm, let's just say too much competition. Yeah. And uncertainties are rife in urban areas. I don't know actually what rife means. Yeah. Whereas if you move towards rural areas, you might not have to face any competition in your business niche. So they're using the word niche. Also, you'll experience more authority and abundance of resources. Okay. Uh, Lower overhead expenses. I mean, that's a nice advantage as well. Yeah. Overhead expenses basically refer to expenses, money that you have to spend to create the business itself. Yeah. For example, insurance, taxes, advertising, these are called overhead expenses. Yeah. So I'm going to include it here because it's kind of related to this. Yeah. Lower cost of doing business. Yeah. So easier to secure financing. So let's look at the advantages. Yeah, I'm going to, insert the links to these websites on this in this file so that you can, come back and check them again. So, cons of buying a rural business. Okay. So of course there are some downsides. I mean, that's a nice word. Yeah, downside means disadvantage. Yeah. I will explain these words in the next video. Buying a rural business too. Here are some cons you must analyze before buying a rural business. Slower growth. Okay. That sounds like a nice advantage to me. Yeah. So slower, or let's just say disadvantage. One disadvantage, let's just say. Slower growth. Despite better profit margins, no rigorous competition. I mean, that's a nice word, yeah. Rigorous competition. So I'm going to, take this. And at hand access to resources. I mean, that's a nice word too, but I guess we're not going to need that because we didn't talk about resources in our advantages part. But if you choose to talk about resources, because when you establish a business in a rural area, you may have easy access to resources such as timber and stuff, yeah. Rural enterprises tend to grow slower. Low annual revenues can characterize this sluggish growth. I mean, that's a nice, chunk of language. Yeah. Revenue basically means income. Yeah. Sluggish means slow. So that's a nice word. The slow growth is caused by the small customer base. Small customer base. I mean, I'm going to, copy this. Oh, let's copy this whole sentence itself. So yeah, many urban businesses witness fast growth due to unique selling points, customer services, and customer-driven products. However, in rural businesses, the annual revenues are lower than those in urban businesses. But if the percentages of profit margins are compared, rural businesses outstand urban ones. So still, it's a good thing. Yeah. Yes, it's a disadvantage, but it can be good. Again, you see, like this is the comparison part. You can just basically copy and paste this. Mm. Um, let's because when you're, describing your body barriers, you need to, sometimes compare. Yeah. So this is a good idea. So now, okay, let's choose this one. Yeah, transport infrastructure may be inadequate. Yeah, that's the disadvantage. Number two. Second disadvantage. So transport infrastructure may be inadequate. Inadequate means poor. Yeah, it has two meanings. Yeah, one means insufficient. The other one is poor. Yeah, inadequate infrastructure, poor infrastructure. Yeah, you might have to face another challenge of underdeveloped transportation infrastructure in rural areas. Hence, it will impact your business operations if you depend on transportation. So I'm going to copy this whole paragraph. So you see, like this is basically we are forming the skeleton of the essay through research. Yes, it's going to take you, quite a lot of time because this is not an easy job to do, right? But it's worth it. So the input is very, very important because we need to learn about the topic as much as we can because we may probably have similar topics. Business is a very common topic in IELTS writing task too. So if you learn about business in general through these articles and research, it will be easier for you to talk about other business topics in either speaking or writing. So that's what you need to do. Yeah. Now let me explain how to use ChatGPT. Basically, ChatGPT is the faster version of this, right? So instead of just reading articles, yeah, one by one, instead of finding the appropriate suitable articles, you're just going to, search the keywords again, and you're going to, take notes again. So now let me open ChatGPT, a new chat on ChatGPT. So here it is. So again, I'm going to ask the same questions. Yeah. So pay attention. It's important that you don't insert the question like the topic of the essay itself, because it's going to write you an essay, and selecting the proper language from those essays may be a bit difficult. Yeah. So you can instead do this. Yeah. Outline the benefits of moving businesses moving to rural areas. Yeah. So let's see what happens. Oh, send. So again, it's presenting the same things. Yeah. Reduced real estate costs. Land and property prices are typically lower in rural areas compared to urban areas, resulting in potential savings for businesses. Again, ChatGPT, I mean, uses very nice language. Yeah, all you have to do is to learn from those things. So lower operating costs, expenses such as utilities, labor, and taxes may be lower in rural areas, contributing to overall cost savings. Again, very, very nice language. Um, so again, access to natural resources, we talked about that, yeah. Proximity to natural resources, yeah. I mean, it means closeness, yeah. Rural areas often have access to natural resources like water, timber, and agricultural products, which can be beneficial for businesses that rely on these resources. So again, so you're going to pick two, and you're going to use those two ideas in your essay. So that's how you should carry out research. Let's just say do some research before you. Now, you're going to send another question. The another key point, yeah, key thing. So limited access to skilled labor. So labor basically refers to people who work for your business. Yeah. If you're located in a rural area, it may be difficult for you to find skilled labor. Yeah. Because most skilled people choose to, operate in urban areas, yeah, urban centers. So talent pool constraints. Rural areas may have a smaller pool of skilled workers compared to urban areas, making it challenging for businesses to find qualified employees with specialized skills. So again, it's easy. Uh, Actually, let me explain this. Yeah, if you can, I mean, the recommended approach is to read articles. Yeah, read 2, 3 articles, take notes, absorb all the information, and then take notes and reproduce those ideas and use those ideas to write your essay. That's going to take you, I don't know, around 2, 3 hours, depending on how well you can work with the internet. And of course, it depends on your English level as well. But when you do that, the more time you spend, the better it gets, the more effective it will be. Because when you do, when you use ChatGPT to research your topics, I mean, it's easy. You're not doing a lot of things. And there's a chance that you may be dependent on ChatGPT. You may become dependent on using ChatGPT. Yeah. So because it's easy, yeah, it's very accessible. It's just going to show what you need in seconds, like you just witnessed, right? So instead, I recommend that you read articles, and use ChatGPT when it's impossible to find, relevant articles on the internet, because there are some strange topics in IELTS writing task two, and it may be impossible or very difficult to find very good articles for those topics. So in that case, of course, you're welcome to use ChatGPT. But again, the point is, you shouldn't just use these things. You should try and learn as much as you can from these platforms. So that's the whole point. Okay. I see that students often spend, I don't know, 5 minutes writing essays? Yeah, because they copy and paste the essay and send it to the ChatGPT, and ChatGPT generates a very good essay, and they're going to copy and paste the essay, and they take it to their teachers, and they're not, I mean, students do not learn anything by doing this. So instead, try to learn, analyze the ideas presented by ChatGPT so that you can absorb all these things and later reproduce these ideas in your essays or in your part one or part three speaking questions. So that's the importance of input. So thank you guys. I guess that's enough. Yeah. Actually, I was going to write an essay using these ideas that I have just copied. Yeah. But I believe it's going to be too long. It's going to take me too long. So I'm going to record another video and send it to you guys. So thank you for your attention. And again, if you have questions, just leave them in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them as soon as possible. So thank you guys. See you in the next video.